Sup HMS, and as you can tell by the title of this video, this will be how to solve my new riddle PR number 3. One of the PR players actually asked for this. But anyways, so I gotta preface this and say that from now on the riddles, well, if you solve it in 24 hours, because I notice people are working together on these now, hence the guy who actually solved this, Kuno, and his assistant Will. If you solve it in 24 hours, I'll release a PR right then and there. But if no one can solve it in 24 hours, I'll give it the week, blah blah blah. And whoever solves it, of course, gets the prize of, getting their name or something on the banner, yada yada. Confirm smartest person in HMS or whatever. But anyways, on to the riddle itself. So, what is it? I wanted to just say this as well. PR riddles fucking retarded. Just post a PR SMH. Learn from Daniel Har. This is very ironic, but we'll get to that around the end of the video. Yeah, Kuno solved it first. So it says right here, why have people been silenced, blah blah blah. So, it says look down. Well, that means just to scroll down. It says this message. You can read it yourself, pause the video if you need to. But basically, these letters that are capitalized mean something, and this actually just outlines the entire riddle. And this takes you to, these are coordinates, obviously. Anyone can see that by just looking at it. So what you do is you go on the PR, because, that's what you always do, right? Oh, and also, ignore this. I couldn't get rid of that. I don't know why Facebook is trash. But anyways, so, the first thing you do is scroll to the bottom like usual, see if there's anything there. Tiny URL is God. Well, that means you're just going to use tiny URL. Not much of really a hint this time around. And it's probably going to be like that from now on. Less and less hints. And you'll see right here on 830E that there is a letter. And then if you go all the way down to right here, there's another letter. Well, basically, it spells out some, nonsense. And you're like, oh, so that must be what goes on the tiny URL. So yeah, you go to the tiny URL, url.com/dang. Yep, it'll take you to this. So let me just say, this is one of my favorites. The next step and everything. You're never supposed to see this page. Not at all. This is a trap page. This was actually meant to just trick you and waste your time. This is actually a dick move. I actually kind of felt bad about this. Like, moral reasoning aside, I want to outsmart you guys. I want to beat you by logic. I want you guys to not figure this out in 24 hours. Otherwise, it feels like I win, but if you figure it out in 24 hours, that means I lose. I'm not going to make it impossible, of course, because that's not fun. But yeah, you're never supposed to see this page. What this part on here is supposed to tell you, scrambled, meaning the words are scrambled. So what that was meaning is that was an anagram for something. An anagram from what, you ask? Well, a very famous number one in the scene, you could say. Really, that's how you do it. You can really just look at it right here, but that's what it spells out. So it takes you to this. The actual next step of the PR. River walks last. I wonder what that could mean. Probably pointless. But anyways, congrats on making this point. Let's see you do math. So yeah, it shows you this. And so if you can read, you'll notice what it'll say. But I gotta say this. This actually confused a few people. But the misfire thing was supposed to be its total frames. I didn't actually have this sentence at first. So yeah, it goes to their total frames as well. Meaning it goes, regardless if I hit or not, it goes to the total frames. And so what that means is that, if you go through all of these, you're like, I wonder what this could be. It just makes you, I'm glad you're enjoying this, and takes you right back to the start. This isn't the most effective way of doing a riddle, I admit, but it was like the closest what I could get it to, because you could just brute force your way. But really the answer is this, because you can't, get 20 misfires. 11 misfires in 20 seconds, I should say. And they'll ask, well, how many, depending on 74 total frames and 41 landing frags, can you get then? Like, how many seconds would that take, doing 11 misfires? Well, if you could do math, it also says round down, which gives you, a better answer. If you can actually do math, then you can tell by really just looking that it's just 21.5. And you're on to the next step. And I also should say this. On this step, There is a moment on here where if you choose the right answer by math, or like some other trap answers I have, which like 'cause if someone can't do math correctly, I put those answers there because they were like similar. It takes you to another sheet. It takes you to this little, let's see, tinyurl.com slash, I think it was like clock. No. HMS clock. God damn it. What was it? HMS clock PR? Whatever. But anyways, you'll find it on here. Either way, this is the link to the next one, and that trap sheet was also, meant to waste your time. It was a dick move. I admit it. It was a dick move. And it takes you to this. You're like, what the fuck is this? So a key detail in my riddles is an attention to detail. If you don't have an attention to detail, then you're probably not going to be able to solve it unless you did what Kuno did, and have people helping you, of course. So what this is, you can notice like there are last sets right here. Wait a minute. Then this is like right before the PR reset, isn't it? So you go all the way back to the old PR. Also, I should also say this: if you tried to do this on mobile, you're insane. You're never try to do these on mobile. So it takes you can just go the old PR because it's linked on there, and it'll take you to this. Now you notice something, right? These are identical except for the font and of course the coloring. But there's another difference if you can tell by just looking. Of course, like well, psychedelic, that blah blah blah, change names, and that is important. That is important. There's also different messages, like kind of like add-on messages. I remember when I first started doing this, it was something else, kind of like a nostalgia trip, really. Copies, fake copies, a lot of you. A fake copied copies, a lot of you, I should say. That's kind of a hint right there. Faked copy copies. Something seems off. Yes, something is definitely off. So if you couldn't tell by looking, this is 11 sheets. The old PR had 9. What does that mean? That means there are 2 sheets that are not supposed to be here. Now, I'm going to go into the second sheet. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, what can happen now? Yeah, look at this yellow, man. I wish that horribly. Okay, much bullshit. Like, I'm getting tired of this. It's taking me long. Here, just take it. And it'll be like HMS True PR. That's not the PR. It's another trap, but it's not nearly as bad as the first two. The first two are dick moves. But anyways, it'll take you to this. Rule is simple. Don't trust everything you see. Though that should have already been established. Finding the truth, you must go against what you already know. Only a couple of things are right. What seems wrong might be right. Have fun. So it tells you right then and there that only the sheets that are supposed to be right are wrong, and what are wrong are right. Meaning the sheets that are not supposed to be there are the right sheets. The sheets that are supposed to be there are the wrong sheets. So everything on these sheets are supposed to be lies. And unfortunately, I guess someone didn't really get that memo because he just looked at this. He was like, oh, well, trust me. So this was actually kind of a mistake. Half a mistake and like really just half an oversight. But I should have expected this because this was a message on the old PR, which kind of screwed me over because I didn't want to get rid of any of the old messages, which I should have just done, really. But I'll get back to that later. So the sheets that aren't supposed to be here, you ask? Well, there's a capital H and a capital L here. So I wonder. Okay. All right, poverty's here. And little old poverty's here. Yep. Nothing. Okay. Well, let me. Fake copied copies, right? Okay. Well, let's go. This is the same sheet. What the hell? Wait a minute. This is a fake copy, and the other one's a fake copy. So what's going on here? There's nothing on that sheet, which you may think, but it'll say new PR. Congrats on figuring this out. The first riddle was here. Good times, a little easy. What that means, on the thousandth on the bottom, I wonder if there's something on the bottom here. Oh, let's check. Wait, there are no lines going down. Wait a minute. 42, besides a bunch of BS. A lot of B's here, a lot of capital B's. So I'm going to assume it means to go to the 42nd line of this little sheet and then go to B, which says this. Ah, the poverty's here. My favorite of the HMSPR. Man, would I hate to be under this. Okay, that's interesting. So, gotta keep that in mind. So what does the next one say then? Go all the way to H, right? No, L. which is, this. Now, is this a fake copy too? Indeed it is. Now, on these old ones, I didn't actually have to I didn't actually type anything on the bottom. So this is basically what else you got, you know. Well, is that something really? Is it? By the way, its color scheme is different, a bunch of bullshit. So on the line 71, there's nothing at the bottom of the sheet, guys. Really, there's not. You go, this seems dull. Down. You know what? Down would make this down better. If we change the color from this dull, it said skip right there. So you just skip a line. Gray to a color like, magenta, pinkish, magenta, whatever you want to call it. That's going to be a common theme in these, just magenta. There's really nothing down here. I guess not. Just nothing down here. Well, alrighty. What that basically means is, you go back to the original sheet. This is basically, magenta, magenta, whatever. And you go all the way to the top where there's poverty tier, which is on line 300. And you say, I would hate to be under this, right? Well, what's under here? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because this isn't the poverty tier, it's right here. I really did say I hate to be under. This, didn't I? Man, to be a name, can't even compete with the best. It's a bunch of bullshit right here. Up until around, you know, around here, I'd say. Yeah, right here. So this is the message you actually need to look at. This is just a bunch of bullshit, really. Not really pertaining to anything. People searched and saw nothing. When truly, maybe it was already in front of them the whole time. They were just blinded by the light in order to see clearly. I want the old white back. And there's something right here. The old white back. Blinded by the light. Well, that means white, right? Come on. So you go back to this one. The old white. The original. Right here. And you click on it. Congrats. You figured it out. Well done. It was hidden in front of you the whole time. The next part is going to be fun. Yep, there's more. But I can assure you, you're halfway done. How do you feel, I wonder? Maybe APIs can change a man. So you're wondering on the next tiny URL? Caps TTB. That means top to bottom. So basically what you do here is I'm going to borrow you for a second form. You go to tinyurl.com slash CITTB, HMS. Where do you get that from? Because the caps on these are literally spelling CITB HMS. Yeah, you get the picture. So yeah, click on it. Changes, I do not care. It takes you to this video. Really? You can watch it if you want. Have fun. Man, 9 views. That's not funny. Have there been that many people seen this video? Well, anyways, the video basically says a lot of stuff, like specific words about, tracking and all that. Trying to track something down, trying to discover something, trying to find something. It's like kind of like a keyword, so I keep using the same thing over and over again. And at one point, I say I didn't forget anything. You can watch the video yourself. Yeah, getting to this point. The URL. You're like, wait, he didn't forget anything. Wait a minute. Wasn't that on... Yeah, I forgot about that. Huh. So that wasn't a lie. And if you can tell, that means it leads you right into the player map. Now, before I continue, I want to say, yep, this was an oversight, really. It basically, you can skip the next part all on your own, which is what Kuno did. But he didn't skip really because of that, but like he kind of exploited the system. To be honest, no, to be fair, the only one person has solved this all the way through without skipping anything. That being, Mock. Now I was looking back or whatever you pronounce his last name. The only person to solve this all the way through. Which, congrats to him, but he didn't solve it first like Kuno did, having Will. But they kind of did work together getting through the parts. Anyways, so there's something wrong here. This is a Houston player map, right? So what's going on here? Muramasa Mondays. The San Antonio wait, what's this doing here? SAA, I wonder what their ranks look like. Well, isn't that interesting? Shouldn't that tells you something, right? And then it goes to here. DOJAMCPPS. That means the next tiny URL, right? So, just borrow one of these. tinyurl.com slash, doja. And go here. And this takes you to the San Antonio PR. You should join that group, by the way. It's a pretty nice group. Pretty nice guys. You know, Libby's #1 there. He used to be a Houston player. So Riverwalk's last. The Riverwalk's in San Antonio. 210. This is the area code of San Antonio. 210. Why is the video called 210 though? That's was that supposed to really lead on to San Antonio PR? Well, there's nothing at the bottom of this. Nothing at all. You see nothing. And if you go to here, nothing at the bottom again. What the hell? Why would it lead you here? Is there anything like pertaining to it at all? Like anything whatsoever? And you just see nothing, right? Man, I wonder what I could do. Well, what you're supposed to do is you're actually supposed to go back to the SAPR, right? And go to 210, what the video was called. And if you notice, you click on the line 210, and it says G. Wait, there's stuff down here. Wait a minute. DOJAMCPS. That spells out something. And yeah, so on the exact ones, like if you go to D, there's a letter. Go to C, there's a letter. Go to B, no letter. So what you do is you spell it out the exact way that this is spelled out right here, except you use those letters. And what does it spell, you ask? Well, it spells HMS Gone PR. Yep, the tiny URL you were looking for right here. And this is how you find the PR. Yep, and that's basically it. That's how you find it. Not really much else to say, really. Except, there is one thing I gotta say, just to get this out of the way. But, yeah, Mr. Christian Rennie here, learn from Daniel Hall. This was ironic, because Daniel Hall is the one who does the San Antonio PR, which, if you can guess what I'm inferring now, he was in on it the entire time. Yep, 2 months in advance. I talked with him in person about this, and we planned this thing out. Isn't this funny? But yeah, from now on, the PR, I'm going to basically do it how I said in the beginning of the video. I'm going to beat you guys by logic because I hate losing like that. I hate how Kuno did this too. He copied the entire thing onto his own Google Docs and changed the entire color scheme, which revealed, hidden letters and stuff. What an asshole. But he did it. Gotta give him congrats. Smartest man HMS. Found and exploiting the system. Which means I'm going to have to change some things up. Man. Either way, though, that's how you solve the PR. And yeah, that's basically it. Until next time, guys. Take it easy.